Hi, Jimmy. I'm Lyaa, currently a market Procreate head, and welcome to my J Masterclass! Yay! Okay, so today I'm gonna be giving you guys a class on Illustrator. So for the first part, I'm gonna talk about the basics of Illustrator. So I'm just gonna show you around like the interface of the app. After that, I'm gonna show you guys some things that I make on Illustrator, which I use in Marked. As you can see, I'm on Illustrator. So this is the window that pops up when I want to create a new file. So that's file, new, and then this is what's gonna pop up. So my go-to dimensions when I make a pub, okay, if it's square, then it's gonna be 1080 by 1080. I usually make the effects 300 ppi, and yeah, these are my normal settings. So you can actually open or you can actually choose other sizes. So there's one for like web pages. There are some for mobile, so for phones, for desk, for websites, for print, so letter A4, legal, for film and video, so those things, and for art and illustration. So if you want to make a postcard, a poster, or I'm just gonna stick with my go-to. So I'm not gonna make anything, or I probably will make some drawings on this artboard, but I'm not really gonna make necessarily a pub right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you around. So to your left on this part is the toolbar, which have all the tools that you'll want to use. At the top is like the menu bar, and then on the right side is the properties panel, which is really useful. The top part is a document window, so it tells you which file you're on currently, and this white thing is called your artboard. These are the tools on the left side. So selection and direct selection tool is just to select items on your artboard. Magic wand tool, never actually used it. I think it works like a lasso tool where it removes like the background of images. And this is the pen tool, the curvature tool, which you can use after you draw something with the pen tool. That's the lasso tool, the type tool, the line segment tool, and if you double click this, you can choose other stuff. So you can make a grid, you can make curvy lines, spirals, etc. And same goes for this tool, which is the rectangle tool. And then when you double click it or click it with two fingers, you'll pop up with different types of shapes you can draw. So you'll have rounded rectangles, ellipses, polygons, etc. This is the brush tool, the paintbrush tool, pretty self-explanatory. Eraser tool, also self-explanatory. The shape builder tool, I will show you guys how to use it in a bit. It's a lifesaver. I've just discovered it recently. This is the perspective grid tool, so if you want to make something in 3D, you can use that tool. I do use gradient tool a lot, and I'll show you guys in a bit. Eyedropper, use it a lot. The rest of these tools, I don't actually use them. So let's start with the basics. So say you want to draw a shape on your artboard. Say you want to color your whole artboard. I've never figured out how to color my artboard without drawing a shape over it. So I'm just gonna pretend to draw a shape. So I click the rectangle tool and I just press down shift so I can keep my rectangle to scale. So it's just gonna be a square. If I let go of shift, it's gonna like be however size it wants to be. But if I want to restrict the scale, I'll definitely click shift. Let me just expand it more. So click down shift again and just expand it. There we go. And then this color is a light gray. So yeah, this properties panel is really helpful because that's where you'll be able to see the properties of the item you're working on. So say for this shape, it shows me the fill, the stroke, the opacity, and I can do a lot of effects on it. You don't have to worry about going outside of the artboard because when you're saving a file, there's like a setting where everything outside of the artboard gets cut. So if you just want like this portion of the circle, like that curvy part of the circle and not the whole thing, then you can just drag it outside. I'll just make a random pub that says J Masterclass. Okay, so I wanted to have like a half circle action happening. And then the next tool will be the text tool, the type tool. So you can just click it and then afterwards click anywhere, and you know that Lorem Ipsum thing is gonna pop up and just type anything. So J Master Class, for example. You can do the same thing that you do with the shapes if you want to enlarge it and you don't really aren't in the mood to type any numbers. So just press down shift and drag out, and ta-da, it gets bigger. So now that you're working on text, you can see in the properties panel that the font pops up and the weight, the size, etc. So I'm gonna just choose a font real quick. I'll just go with Futura just because it's, you know, Jamie font, I guess. And then I'm kind of rethinking this now. Let me just choose another one. I'll just make it really small. So as you can see, there's this option to change the, font size. So let's make it 40. So now that I've got the text down, so next I'd like to show you the pen tool. So the pen tool is used so you can draw any shape you want, literally anything you want. Credits to Jamie, Jams, and Nami, and the other Cosmos Creatives people, because they're the reason I learned how to use Illustrator. And they're the reason I learned how to use the pen tool, because we needed to draw a lot. So make endpoints for your shape. So say there, I want to make sort of like a triangle-ish, but not really. Okay, there. So there you have a triangle. And say you want a side to be curvy. So what you can do is press down Alt and you'll see it becomes that weird arrowy thing. And then when you put it on a side, it pops up with that arrow with the curvy line. That means it'll let you curve it. So if while pressing down Alt, you can drag out and wow, you have a curvy thing. You can also press down Alt and go on the those edges and just sort of drag it out also, so you can control it more in a sense. Okay, yeah, the shape looks a bit weird, so I'll just go back to the original. So let me just resize this and sort of use it as an element. Edit this. So if I want to edit the shape again, I'll just go back to the tool I used for it, so the pen tool, and I'll just edit it again however I want. So I kind of want it to be curved down, and I want it to not have fill but to have stroke. I want to pattern it after this. 3. So that's going to be 3 points also. Ta-da! Lovely. The next thing I'd like to show you guys is the shape builder tool. So say I want to draw a complex shape. Say I want to draw a flower, but drawing flowers is a bit hard, right? So I'll start with the pen tool and I'll draw separate petals for the flower. So I'll start off with a triangle looking thing and then just sort of curve out the edges so they look like petals. Yay! Okay, so that's one petal, and I'll duplicate this. So how do I duplicate it? I'll just press down Alt and then drag it out. Then that's another. Okay, so let's start with one petal and we'll try to replicate this a lot of times so that we can form a very symmetric flower. So I'll start by duplicating it once, so pressing down Alt and dragging out, and then we'll click it together, both of it, and then we'll go to the properties panel, go to align, and we want to align it center align it together. And then I'll just flip this over so it's going down. I'll drag it down so they're opposite each other, and we'll center them again just to be sure. Okay, once that's done, I'll just group them together. So when you group an object now, it's they act as one unit. I'll duplicate this grouped layer, and what I'll do is I'll flip it 90 degrees. So it's, like that. And I'll center them again so they look like this. So as you can see, it looks more like a flower now. And then I'll duplicate it again. So now, yay, it looks like a flower. I'm so happy. So, okay, let's just group you all together. And honestly, I'm going to duplicate this layer before I merge it into one shape so that I can retain it. Okay. So, this is your shape. Oh, this is your shape. Okay. And say you're gonna put, you want to put like, you know, the center of the flower on it. So we'll get a circle and we'll just draw it over the whole thing. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna center them vertically and horizontally so it's dead center. And then I'll just put a fill on it. Okay. So there's your flower. And say you want it to be one shape, because right now it's just a group of like different shapes. It's just the 8 petals that are grouped together and the circle. But what if you want them to just be one, like, you know, one shape? So that's what the shape builder's for. So what you want to do is we'll add fill first to the petals just to be sure that they don't get cancelled out when I build the shape. Okay. So now that it looks like a flower. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click the petals and the circle, and we're gonna click the shape builder tool. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna drag, as you can see, as I hover over the different parts, they sort of get highlighted. I'm gonna drag around all of the parts in the flower. So I'll just hold down here and then venture into the petals individually. I'll just keep doing it for all of the petals. And then when I let go, now it's just one shape. Yay! Honestly, I find this really helpful. And I think I'll keep this weird action happening. So yeah, there's my weird pub demo thing just for the basics. And so now that I have, you know, this, and I want to save my file, I want to export it into a PNG and not have these edges sticking out, like all of these and even the shape. So what I'm gonna do is go to File, Export, Export As, and click PNG. And then this is the very crucial part. You have to click Use Artboard so that it gets chopped off at the edges of the artboard. Because if I didn't click Use Artboards, it would have included the edge of the circle, the edge of the flower, and the edge of that weird shape I drew, and that would have been weird. So let's just save this as Chainmaster and export. So as you can see in the thumbnail, as you can see in the thumbnail, it only caught the edges of the artboard, so that's what we want. Yay! So click OK, and there, you would have made or saved your very first pub. So yay! That's my really basic intro, and I hope you guys learned a lot. I know it's a lot to take in for like learning it for the first time. So if any of you guys are interested to learn more and, you know, are like excited to learn about Illustrator, you guys can just ask me some questions. Like, I don't really mind if you ask me, like, I'd really be glad to help. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.